Okay, here we go. What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Potomac season 4, episode 11. So this episode wasn't really exciting after last week. It was sort of kind of like I feel like it's a calm before the storm type situation. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The first thing we see is Ashley with her mom, and they are working on their project for the therapist, writing up a contract for each other. And what I walked away from with this whole conversation is, Candace, you were just like your damn mama, and that's why y'all don't get along. Because everything that Candace was throwing at her mother was like, well, I can say the same about you. And now that I think about it, she can. Especially after this season. Had this happened last season, I'd be like, nah. But this season, I'm like, yup, I see it. One of the things I thought was interesting was she said to her mother, being able to accept your advice without getting upset. And her mother was like, yeah, let me be the mother. Oh, that's a jab. I'm putting that in here. No jabs. That's not a jab. That's a fact. Your mother is the mother. Allowing her to be the mother. That's not a jab. Now, I ain't saying that I'm all team Dorothy. That ain't what I'm saying. But I definitely see why they conflict and where the conflict comes from. I don't know if this whole contract thing is going to work, but we're going to pray for the best on it. Then we see Ashley at Oz. Y'all know Oz closed. I think somebody put it in my comments. And then, like, no sooner did y'all put it in my comments, I think I saw it in Facebook or somewhere that Oz did actually close. I never actually got up there to eat. Never really had a desire to go eat there. Didn't really want to taste kangaroo meat. But anyway, I'm sure they had other stuff on the menu. But Miss Messy Ass Giselle comes in there. And see, here's the thing. Giselle wanted Ashley to talk about the situation with Michael. And I feel like, first of all, can we talk about these confessional looks in this episode? Hot damn mess is all I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it at that. Moving on. So, Giselle was trying to be real. Well, I have this event at Target tomorrow. And, after everybody asked me, what's the right shade for them, the next question they're going to ask me is, well, what's going on with Ashley? And I don't know how to answer that. Tell them mind their damn business. Because if I go to an event for Every Hue Cosmetics, I ain't gonna be asking about Ashley and Michael. I'm there for that event. And if I do ask about Ashley and Michael, it's nowhere in the world that Giselle is supposed to talk to some stranger that came to a meet and greet event about what's going on with Ashley and Michael. Like, come on, girl. Like, that wasn't even. And Ashley said, look, I can't really talk about it because it's a legal situation. Oh, I understand. I don't want you to talk about it. But are you okay with this? You okay with your husband just grabbing booty? And Ashley was like, so you're assuming that is true? Which, again, if I'm out here defending my husband and I'm out here swinging and windmilling for my husband and my friend says something like that to me, that's going to be my response too. Oh, so you're assuming that it's true. Oh, so you just feel like my husband just did it. Oh, okay. I see where you coming from. I see what kind of friend you are. And, of course, Giselle was like, well, no, I'm just saying, well, and Ashley is doing what a wife is supposed to do. Ain't no way in hell she's supposed to be throwing her husband under the bus. I don't give a damn who you talking to. I don't care who you talking to. Whatever conversations they've had in private, whatever cussing out she done gave that man in private, whatever he's confessed to her in private, that is between the two of them. Ain't no way in hell you supposed to be sitting there and talking it up with Giselle, especially not messy ass Giselle. Child. So, neither here nor there. Giselle ain't really getting nothing out of Ashley. And she shouldn't have, And y'all know I ain't necessarily team Ashley, but on this one, come on, Giselle. Like, Ashley ain't supposed to tell you more than what she told you. And finally Ashley sort of just kind of was like, look, Giselle, like for real now. Like, really, we're done. We're done with this conversation. We're done. Monique and Chris went to have a 3D sonogram done, which I love 3D sonograms. I think they're so cute. But they invited Karen and Candace. I've never seen that before. I've never seen, and she said that they like to do like a reveal, a gender type thing, and they like to make the sonogram a big deal, but they didn't reveal nothing because they didn't want to know the sex of the baby. I get it. Monique needed a scene. She needed to invite some people, and that's what she did because there was no rhyme or reason for this. The kids got restless because they could care less. After they saw the picture on the screen, they were over it. The kids got restless, and it was a mess. Okay, it was a mess. However, afterwards, Candace, Monique, and Karen were able to have a conversation, and I thought it was a really good conversation where Monique apologized, and they looked like they had already apologized to each other through via text before this even went down. But Monique did apologize to Candace, and Candace did apologize. And Karen, they both respect Karen. First of all, Monique tried to say yes, mother, when she was like, "I need to talk to y'all," and Karen was like, "Let's not say mother, let's say older sister." I know that's right, Karen. You ain't nobody. You ain't they damn mama. You ain't that old. Well, technically, you could probably be their mama, but it would be a teen pregnancy anyway. Um, but the conversation I thought was a good conversation. I thought that they were able to resolve it. And the one thing I thought was good was that Karen did talk to Candace about the issues with your mother spilling over into the issues with your friends. And Candace, without getting excited and rude, said, "Well, I don't want to blame my issues with my mother on my bad behavior," which I thought was very mature of her. Although I do see that there is some validity to saying, "Look, what you're dealing with your mama is spilling over." And Monique said to Candace, "Look, I miss the fun Candace. I miss the bubbly Candace. I miss like it's just been something over you for these last couple of months it's taken away your joy. It's sort of taken away your joy. And I don't really like to see that side of you." And they said, it was sort of like it was sort of like a sisters argument. When sisters get to going at it and they get to cussing each other out and they can talk to each other crazy. And then a little bit later on they make up and they move on, but everybody can't have that same conversation and move on. But I felt like in that moment, Monique and Candace and Karen sort of had a sisters conversation, and Karen sort of mediated it, and they worked it out. I hate to see that the two of them um have fallen out now and they're going back and forth on Twitter and stuff. Like, I hate to see it especially after seeing this scene. I mean, they got the crying and I know Candace pulled out her little corner tissue. But especially after seeing that, I hate to see that they have whatever reason not been able to work some things out. I mean, I guess there's some more stuff that's gonna go down the rest of the season. Uh Giselle with her with the girls, she's out with the girls. They doing apple picking. It wasn't as exciting as it looks on TV. And then she sat down to have a conversation with her kids, and it seems like she's been missing a lot of things the last couple of weeks with her kids. Between probably filming for the show and then doing her every hue cosmetics and that type of thing, she's been taking a lot of time away from the girls. And so she's talking to them about it. And she said, I want them to understand that when I'm not with them, I'm building my empire for them. And again, that is something that single moms deal with. That is a guilt that they deal with. You work hard because you're trying to do something for your kids, but then it takes away time that you are spending with your kids. So it's a hard catch 22. However, I can say her youngest daughter, one of her twins, Angel, made a comment about other kids being the favorite and her being her least favorite. And I could tell that really bothered Giselle, which I think it would bother any mother. And her daughter said, "Look, it's cool. You just don't you love them more than you love me. Or no, you I don't know if she used the word love, but basically they're your favorites and I'm not. And it is what it is." And Giselle said all the right things, like, I don't have any favorites, mommy doesn't have any favorites. And in her confessional, she was like, that really bothers me that she feels that way. And that tells me that I need to put the focus, I need to make sure that I address that and I need to deal with that. And we see later on in the episode where she does end up taking Angel out to a one-on-one mommy daughter type situation. And she tells her, she says, "You know what? It may seem like that because I don't worry about you. I know you're good." And she was like, "But you should though." And that's so valid. When I went to the Queen Supreme Court, live a few weeks ago. That was one of the things that T.S. Madison had a conversation with us about when we were at the brunch. And you guys have heard this before. You got to check on your strong friends because, see, they're the ones that make it look easy, that make you feel like they got it, that make you think they got it all together. And at the end of the day, they're the ones that really sort of need it. I'm not going to say the most, but they're the ones that when you think they got it going on, they're the ones that need it. And it's the same thing with your kids because she said, I know that if I leave the house, I don't have to worry about you. I know you're going to eat dinner. You're going to do your homework. You're going to pass that test. I know that when you want something, you are strong willed and you go after it. You go and you usually get it. And her daughter was like, yeah, that's true. Yep. She said, so I know now that I need to make sure that I check on you. She said, but please understand that it's not that it's me not giving you this attention you think that I'm not giving you. It's not because I don't love you as much. It's because I know you got this. And they need a little bit more mommy time because they need a little extra. And so I I thought that was valid and it was a good moment. And I appreciate the fact that Giselle saw the issue and said I need to address it instead of just saying, I don't do that. I don't do that. No, I don't. That ain't right. But she addressed it. Robin. 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 Robin getting her hair done with the hairdresser. She talking about this house that she talking about some. Now I got to do all this stuff I didn't know I had to do. We got to have an open house. Her hairdresser was like, or her stylist was like, so you thought the house was just gonna sell itself? You were gonna put it on the market and that was gonna be it? You ain't had to do no more work for it? I mean, yes. Which tells me that Robin, you really did not research this whole house flipping thing. You watched a couple of TV shows on the Home Network or the DIY channel or whatever they call that channel. You watched a couple of Flipping Brothers, whatever. Y'all see, I don't watch them shows. And you were like, oh, I can do that. I'm going to take my Bravo check and buy a house and flip a house. That's what you did. If you don't realize all the things that you got going on. Then she starts talking about Juan. Robin. Juan wanted a baby girl because he said that he wasn't the type of father he wanted to be when they had the boys. He wasn't as attentive as he wanted to be, and so he wants to have a girl, sort of have a second chance at it. So her stylist says, "Well, you should go on and have a baby." I'm not having a baby for that reason. I wouldn't have a baby for that. Um, she said, "Well, you need to let Juan know." I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say nothing because that could be a non-negotiable. So you're afraid to tell Juan how you feel because you're scared he's gonna roll out. That's what you said. Which tells me that y'all situation ain't really as strong as you trying to pretend like it really is. That means that you still just pussyfooting around and walking on eggshells around Juan, making sure you do the right thing and say the right thing because you don't want him to leave. That's what that says to me. Because if you were secure in whatever it is that y'all building, you would tell him, look, boo, I don't think that's the move. And then she says, well, I don't think we should be talking about having kids until we at least get remarried. So is it a non-negotiable or is it a non-negotiable until he married you? Like, what is it? And whatever it is, I don't care. I swear I don't. I just don't. And I've said from season one, Robin, if you like it, I love it. If you okay with that situation between you and Juan, far be it for me to judge it. All I'm saying now is make sure it's what you want. That's it. Anyway, Ashley goes to her therapist, and she admits to her therapist that she's putting on a brave front for everybody, and that she's playing the good wife duty for everyone, even though she doesn't necessarily. She didn't say she didn't believe Michael, but she said that she doesn't want people to think that she's weak. She doesn't want to show weakness. But that tells me that you don't feel like any of these women are really your real friends because that's what you do with real friends. When life throws you when life throws you lemons, you go over your girlfriend's house and y'all make a cup of fucking lemonade with a little vodka in it. That's what you do. And so I feel like you don't trust any of these women enough to sit down and expose yourself and really let them know you're hurting. And I don't even necessarily mean with the cameras on, but when the cameras are off and you say, look, Bravo don't need to see all of this, but I need to talk to you. It need to be a me and you conversation. You know, it's unfortunate that this news broke while they were taping the show because now you sort of have to put it on camera. You know what I mean? They would lose their whatever if you didn't put that on camera for everybody to see. Um, Oh, what I just do? Um, she also talked about the fact that she sees Michael not just as her husband, but also as a paternal figure. And she talks about her father and how her father left when she was one and she never saw him again, never had a conversation with him, never talked to him. And that is something that is still very raw for her. Later on in the episode, we see her talking to her mom and basically asking her mother questions. She said, with me trying to have a child, I don't know anything about my father. Did he deal with mental illness? Does he have any health issues? And then we found out that she did actually reach out to him on Facebook saying, look, I'm your daughter. I don't want anything from you. I don't want no child support. I don't want nothing. I just want a relationship with you. And that fool blocked her. And I'm thinking, wow. See, this is what I don't understand. I'm about to go left for a quick second. I will never understand for the life of me. I will never, ever, ever understand how you can bring something into this world and be okay with it being out in this world and you not knowing what's going on with that thing, whether it's good, bad, living on the streets, strung out on drugs, became a millionaire. Like, I don't understand that mindset to say, I have a child in this world and I'm cool with not having a relationship with that child. I don't get it. I understand you might have been young when you and the mama broke up. I understand that it might have been years that passed and maybe you were a little embarrassed, didn't know how to get in touch with, didn't know how to apologize. But when she extended the olive branch to you and reached out to you on Facebook, that was your opportunity to say, to reach back. And for him to not only just not respond, but block her on Facebook, wow. I don't know how I could bounce back from that. That would hurt me to my core. To my core. Um, and she went to her mom's Facebook, and he ain't blocked on her mama's Facebook. And she was looking at pictures of him and everything, and she really broke down. And again, y'all know Ashley ain't my most favorite person in the world. However, in that moment, I felt for her. I did, because I don't get it. I don't understand. I just don't understand it. And so she said that she wants to seek him out. Michael's against it. Her mother said, hey, go for it. If that's what you feel like you need to do to make peace. Um, um, but he's in Georgia. So she said she just feels like she needs to just at least one more chance to just reach out and just have the conversation. So I don't know if that's something that's going to make it this season. If that's something that we're going to see, but you know, I wish her the best in that endeavor. Because again, as someone who has a father who's my father's been in my life my whole life, I cannot imagine being rejected by him. So I definitely, you know, definitely feel your pain, boo. So last but not least, we have the we have what they call themselves, the I don't know, but the threesome go out to dinner. The Samuels, just Karen the Hugers, and then the Dillards. They go out to eat. And Candace said that things are still a little tense between her and Chris. And she said, we'll make up, but things are still a little tense. And, I hate that argument was so stupid. It was this, it was that. And my thing is, then why you ain't just apologized? Because, and I get it, just because you apologize don't mean I'm over it. I understand that. But I wonder what kind of apology she gave Chris, because you should have sent his ass roses at work after that daggone argument. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what you said or did not say, but I know what you should have said and what you should have done. But neither here nor there. They all end up going out to dinner. And y'all know eventually the conversation gets around to Ashley and Michael. Y'all know it's going to get there. And first of all, Uncle Ben, that ain't no, that's Peter Thomas, Uncle Ben. Anyway, Ray done made well, no, it was Uncle Ben. Who called him Uncle Ben? Was it Giselle that called that man Uncle Ben? I'm not gonna call him Uncle Ben. That's not nice. Ray made a comment about people trying to sing, because actually, Candace at some point tried to sing, and so Ray said something about, you really do have a beautiful voice. I hear everybody trying to sing, and of course that's a jab at Ashley, and they laugh. Then Monique shady ass will say, well, speaking of Ashley, ain't nobody say Ashley's name, Monique. That was shady as shit. It was funny, but it was shady. Um, but Monique said that she had talked to Ashley and that they were doing good, everything was fine, and that they were just kind of going along with the mindset that, Michael ain't do it. And that's their story, and they sticking to it. And so then they started talking about, well, it happened at the rainbow party, and it supposedly happened in the basement. And she asked Monique, well, don't you have cameras in the basement? And Monique was like, no, we don't. And Chris kind of gave her the look like, don't be telling nobody about our security situation. Because I was thinking the same thing. Like, maybe you ain't need to say, well, where y'all had cameras at in y'all house. That probably wasn't a good thing to say on camera. But I bet you they got cameras on their house now, and they in the basement of their house now, after she done said that on camera. Neither here nor there. We find out, though, that Chris has been subpoenaed as a witness because supposedly Chris was talking to Michael and the cameraman walked in between them, and supposedly that's when it happened. And they were talking about the fact that, look, with all them cameras and cell phones and people taking pictures and selfies and videos and everything else going on, and as Mike, Monique was like, as much as we mic'd up and the cameras following us, it's got to be some footage of something. And at this point, you have to believe that Bravo has searched all of their footage. And if there is something, you can best believe it's been subpoenaed either for Michael's benefit or for the cameraman's benefit. Trust and believe that. But it's interesting that Chris was subpoenaed about it. And they even showed the moment when it supposedly happened. They were taking pictures outside and they couldn't find Michael. And they were like, go get Michael. Where's Michael? Michael need to get out here and take these pictures. And that's supposedly when Michael was in the basement and this was actually going on. So, again, it'll be very interesting to see how this plays itself out. I really haven't followed it to know what happened or didn't happen. But again, where there's smoke. And the one thing that they brought up was, hey, if Michael is bisexual, if they have an open marriage, if they're swingers, if they do some crazy funky shit in the bedroom, it's cool. But just let people know so people won't be talking bad about your husband thinking that he disrespecting you if that's what y'all do and that's what y'all cool with. And Monique brought up a good point. Monique was like, well, Ashley done told us all her other business. I would believe that something like this she would share with us. So anyway, we'll see how this all plays itself out, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.